Hey, good afternoon everyone. Hallo iedereen. Welkom bij Design Donderdag. I will immediately switch to English because we have an English guest, Victor. He's already watching like, oh no, she's going to do it in Dutch. As Jeroen already mentioned on LinkedIn, he is at the moment in Copenhagen, Denmark. So I'll be hosting this session alone and doing all the buttons and stuff. So let's see how that works out. Jeroen is way better at that. For who doesn't know, I am Lonneke Opsteegh, Power BI Dashboard Design Specialist at Stat Stories. And together with Jeroen, we host Design Donderdag at the last Thursday of every month for already like 4 years or something. I have no clue anymore how long, but I think this was number 47, 48, somewhere over there. Quite a long time already. Yes. And a while ago, I saw a post on LinkedIn by Victor, and it immediately drew my attention. I was like, hey, this is someone I need to talk to. So I sent Victor a message. Can you please join us at Design Donderdag? I tried to really convince him, send him our list, our playlist, and Victor was immediately enthusiastic. So Victor, please, can you tell us who you are, what you do?
Hi, Lonneke. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. So I'm Victor Rivas. I'm based in Italy, but I was born and raised in Venezuela. That's why the Spanish accent. I'm a content creator at OKViz. So I'm in charge of creating different use cases that you can find on our website, mainly Synoptic Panel. But also
so maybe just for the audience, OKViz is a company that makes
custom visuals. But in a near future, there are other things that are coming, so stay tuned. It won't be just only custom visual, also something else.
Okay. Curious. And will you give us a little bit of a sneak peek into that today, or is that really too early?
I think it is too early, but I think we will help the Power BI community with custom visuals in a broader sense, but I can't say more.
Okay. We'll keep following you. Yes. Okay. Tell us. So you're a content creator for OKViz, making use cases. You're also making all the nice visuals for your website.
Yeah, also, so I really like custom visuals. I didn't used to like them, but once I started working with OKViz, I saw the potential. So now I also help other people, enterprises in general, with custom visual implementations, not just from OKViz, but also other custom visuals in general.
Okay.
Because there are over 750 custom visuals in the app stores. There are so many.
Yeah. And we'll talk a bit about that as well, right? Like, why would you even use custom visuals?
Exactly. Since there are so many, how to choose the right one?
Yeah, indeed. That's always a struggle. And when I hear your story, I have one question. Well, I always have a lot of questions, but let's kick off with one. Because you said, well, I wasn't very much into custom visuals until I started working with OKViz. How do you start working with a company with custom visuals if you're not really into custom visuals? How did that start?
Really good question. So actually, I started working with Marco Russo from OKViz. And since OKViz is a spin-off, a little spin-off of SQL BI, he asked me, would you be interested in checking out the new Synoptic Panel? It wasn't released yet 1 year ago. I started checking it out, and then I started to get to know also bullet charts, Calendar PRO, and other ones, and I saw that there were so many custom visuals in the app stores.
Yeah.
And so I got in love with custom visuals. There are many other companies like Info River, if I may, which is also really good at it. I think it is one of the biggest vendors in the app stores as well.
Yeah. Nice. Very interesting.
So I started with SQL BI. I mean, working behind the scenes. I don't do content creation like Alberto, Marco, Card behind the scenes. So I got to know the team of OKViz, and that's how I started to work with them.
Yeah, yeah. Nice, interesting. And you prepared a presentation for today, or maybe you already had it, but at least you have a presentation ready. I can see in the small ones, in the thumbnails, that you're on that screen. We are there. So
yeah, exactly.
You might want to move us over. And I'm going to get your screen into the screen.
Absolutely.
Please enlighten us. Yeah.
I think we can start then. So I'm a content creator at OKViz. So the first part that I will show you is our custom visuals. Some of them are free, some of them are paid. The ones on the left, like Synoptic Panel, up until bullet charts, are the paid ones. And the ones on the right are completely free. The one that I will show today are Synoptic Panel, because we recently released version 2 of this custom visual. And also, we're going to talk a little bit about Calendar PRO.
Yes.
You told me that you're also using bullet chart, right?
I'm a big fan, absolutely. And I always take one from OKViz. So it is still a coincidence that we're now talking to each other. But yes, I'm a big fan of the bullet chart.
Yeah, it has been out there for quite some time.
Yeah.
But the one that deserves some love is Calendar PRO, definitely.
Yeah.
And that's why I want to show this hidden gem that help users to visualize calendar data, because there is no native visual inside Power BI that does that. So when you want to display calendar data, it's a little bit tricky, right? Have you given it a try with maybe a table, a matrix? It's quite hard.
It's quite hard. Yeah, yeah. Maybe a question: can we put it in presentation mode, or is that not handy?
Yeah, sure.
We see everything. Can we just have a bit more of a focused view? Yes, I think that's better. Thank you.
Welcome. Actually, now we are going back because I will show Calendar PRO right into Power BI. So I will exit the presentation mode right away. So here we are in Power BI. And for example, this is a use case that is not real at all. I made that up. About a company that hires contractors, right, per hour. So you can see here the list. Maybe let me zoom a little bit. You can see the detail of the contractor, the manager, and the idea will be to see the availability of hours for every single day. So we are talking about calendar data. I think that most of the people will build a matrix like this, right? With maybe years, quarters, and months on the columns, and the day of the month on the rows. Will you do something different, Lonneke?
No, I think this would indeed be my solution if I want to create some sort of heat map. Yeah.
Exactly. That is also what I thought. But as you see in here, there are a lot of blanks. And it could be either because there is a holiday, a weekend, or also because, for example, February has 28, 29 days, right?
Yeah.
So it is not intuitive right away. What we can see is that in this month, October, November, and December, we have more availability, and that's it. So using Calendar PRO, which I already imported here, you can do it by going to the app source under get more visual. Let me zoom a little bit. So 3 dots, get more visuals. Here is the result that you can achieve. So Calendar PRO has 2 modes. This one is the chart mode, which is very minimal. And the other one is the calendar mode, which is less minimal, but you can see the KPI, the availability in hours. If you are wondering, this one, it should be today. Today is 25th. Is that right? Yes, it is correct. So for this day, it says that we have 12 hours of availability. So as you see, it is way more intuitive to see it at least in this kind of display. This is a chart view. And the dots are the holidays. For example, here we have the USA holidays, but you are based in Netherlands, right?
Yes.
So in your case, you can come here to holidays.
Can you zoom in again on that part? Because it's...
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So sorry. So the visual and the holidays. And in the countries, you can choose your country. So let's look for the Netherlands. Here it is, Netherlands, right? So let's see your holidays. Yeah. Correct me if we are wrong, but I see that you won't have any holidays soon. So I see no holidays September, October. I'm so sorry for that.
In autumn and winter, we just like to work, and then during spring, as you can see, we.
That is right. That is right. They are concentrated here.
Yeah.
So it is entirely different, right? It is more intuitive. And one thing that could be really useful for people working in retail are the calendar setups, because this is the one that we are used to, right? We're used to the fact that the year ends the 31st of December, right? And it starts the 1st of January. But there are other kinds of systems, like the fiscal or the weekly. And for retail, this one is really important. Why? Because in retail, for example, a supermarket, let's say, weekends are important. So when we compare a period against another period, the number of weekends that are inside the periods, they really count. That's why this is more standardized way of visualizing, in this case, the data. 445 is because every quarter is divided in a month with 4 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks. Then we have another quarter, and so on and so forth. So every quarter has 13 weeks, right? So when you compare a quarter to a quarter, you are certain that you will have
period, length of period.
With the same number of weekends, exactly. And this is just from a visualization point of view. So if you have a regular table, it doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
And
nice. And how does this work with this new feature that they just released like last week, that you can have your different calendars defined?
That is a great question. So actually, I don't know 100% because I was just watching Marco's video yesterday. So I don't know 100%. I think that that feature helps functions in DAX do better calculation. I mean, not better, but more accurate to your problems, to your logic that you want to implement. So it is, I think, just for DAX purposes. For the visualization part, I think nothing changed, but take it with a grain of salt because I'm not 100% sure about that. In here, if you have a regular calendar, it will change just the visualization, the display. So behind the scenes, everything is the same. And the last part that I would like to show about Calendar Pro is this one down below, because you see that we have some buttons. So even the viewer in Power BI service, for example, they can change the granularity that they want to display. For example, here is day, but I can go up and see it by quarter. You see the month, or I don't know, I want to see by week, right? A week is very important to me. So you can also change it by week, right?
And do you know how end users are people using this in the way you would expect it? Because sometimes that's very different. Like we are like, oh, this is so logic, this is so helpful, and then the audience is like, I never use it. So do you have experience with this one in real life?
So we don't know customer behavior because we don't have the data, the telemetry to know what features are people using or not. We would like to have it. Well,
Yeah.
we don't. Still,
Okay.
if you have any question, you can reach out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And finally, if you want, you can change and show 6 months or just 2 months, right? Right
Yeah.
here, right away. So this, the viewer, without editing permission, they can do, because it's just a display. They don't change anything.
Yeah. Yeah. Very nice. Very interesting. In my mind, the calendar was more like a calendar slicer, but it's not. It's actually a way of displaying data. So you're absolutely right that it needed a bit more love and a bit more attention. So I am very curious for the people who are watching. Are you already using this visual, or are you planning to use it based on what Victor has now shown us? Let us know in the comments. So I'm definitely planning to look into it.
Nice. And if you're interested, here I have an article about a news case regarding this report that I just showed.
Yeah.
So you can come to our website and check it out. Right here, I say how I built it, and a use case. In this case, was for planning. And if you want, you can navigate here the report. Right, it is embedded into the article, so you can check it out.
Yeah, nice. I see Jeroen is actually watching. Looks awesome, Victor.
Thank you, Jeroen.
So, thanks, Jeroen. We're handling it. No, it's fine. It's good. Thank you. Yes. Okay, let's go to our next topic. Why would we use custom visuals?
So that's right where we are going. So we're here talking about custom visuals, how amazing they are, but why should you bother using them, right? They are not directly supported by Microsoft, so why bothering? So let's be honest. I wouldn't use custom visuals if I don't have a real need. If I don't have like a need for Gantt charts, custom calendars, or other things, I wouldn't use them at all. So, but let's start with the fact that we have an actual need. So in that case, you could customize the Power BI native visuals, right? With measures, calculated tables, columns, and whatnot. But those report-specific objects, they create a lot of problems, right? So we have those as an option, but that increases technical debt, adding so many objects. So maybe tomorrow there is going to be a different developer that he or she doesn't know what a lot of measures do, and they are all just for one visual.
Yeah,
and
that's my experience as well, especially with the bullet chart. You can create it, but the OKViz visual cost me like 3 minutes. Making it myself cost me 30 minutes, and then I'm still quick. And there are measures just everywhere and all these dummy variables. And I always tell people, if I go back to it after a year, I probably myself wouldn't even know how to fix stuff anymore. So, yeah.
And that's a matter also of price, because sometimes we see a custom visual has a price of, I don't know, $3 whatever. And we say, well, actually, I can do it for free, right, with measures, but your time also has a price. So you will have to compare that technical debt with the price of the custom visual. And 99% of the time, it makes sense for custom visuals. However, in the App Store, as I was saying, there is a problem, because we have 800, more or less, more than 750 custom visuals. So how would you know which one to use, right? Because some of them could break tomorrow, right? Some of them, they don't have the feature that you want. You cannot ask for support. So you will have to find a trusted partner, a trusted vendor for your custom visuals, right? Like, of course, I will say OKViz, but there are many other companies that are also amazing. So you already know that you should use a custom visual. You find a partner, right? Maybe OKViz, any other company, and you want to buy through the app stores, right? because you have been told that Absurd is the risk-free way of getting a custom visual. Well, it comes with some risks. What do I mean? So if you buy through the Absurds, there are going to be some delays. If the visual breaks, or if you want an update or whatever, you will have to wait for weeks. So for example, you have a broken custom visual, you call customer support, they fix it right away, and they ship the solution. Well, you will have to still wait some weeks before seeing the actual change. For that reason, what I recommend is to managing the PBI bits file via the organizational visuals in the Power BI admin portal. In that way, you are in full control. You can roll back, you can change the version, you can update, so you are in full control.
Yeah.
It is not intuitive, but that is the right solution that at least I recommend.
Yeah. And for updates, do you then always have to do the updates manually, or do they also do it automatically? Or maybe it's a setting or.
Good question. So in the Absurds, they are automatic.
Yeah.
You cannot stop them.
Yeah.
If you manage it yourself, you have to change the PIVs file. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Sometimes it's what you want, because you could have a lot of reports in production with a custom visual, and you don't want to break anything. So you leave it as is if you want. So you will have to handle it yourself. In that case, the updates.
Yeah, that has its pros and its cons, probably.
Pros and cons, exactly. Pros and cons. So we already know why to choose custom visual and how to properly choose the right one. So now let's get into the nitty-gritty of this webinar, right? Synoptic Panel.
Yes. I'm very curious. Tell us about it.
This is our baby right now. This is the most famous, I think, custom visual, at least for us in OKViz. And everything started 10 years ago, almost from day 0 of Power BI, almost.
Oh, wow.
So, it has a lot of time. Synoptic Panel won the best contest visual 10 years ago, many years ago. But it was free, right? As you may know.
Yeah.
And the thing with custom visuals is that sometimes, from time to time, the APIs change, right? So the developer has to use the new API, or something changes and they have to maintain the solution, right? And if a custom visual is free, well, there is not sustainability. I mean, economically speaking. There were a lot of requests for advanced features, but again, if it is not economically sustainable, it is difficult to do it.
Yeah.
That's why we created version 2, the new one, that comes with a lot of different features. It is constantly evolving, so we are gathering feedback from users, and actually we are happy to listen to different feedbacks. For example, one is conditional formatting. Now we can use the FX button that maybe you already know in Power BI. That is an API, a new API. We also have hierarchical navigation and filtering with a slicer and many other features, right? We will see some of them right now, that we will see how to export an SVG into a Synoptic Panel. What is an SVG? Why should we use that? So let's have a look at it. You ready?
Yeah, definitely. Very curious. Go. Yeah.
All right.
I have been working with Synoptic Panel like a few times, but I don't think I get the maximum out of it. So I'm absolutely curious for your demo. Yeah.
Yeah, because the new one is a little bit different. So here we have some data that we would like to display. So it is just rooms and the work in progress percentage. That's it. So let's say that we found a an image on Google, or maybe you already have one, right? A floor plan. So this is one way. You could come here into PowerPoint and you can create the shapes. For example, let's do just 2 shapes to not be here 5 hours. This one is a difficult shape. This one, the closet. I'm just zooming. So the feature that I will use is this one. So this feature in PowerPoint allows you to select the dots, right? And then connect them. You will see here we have the polygon, right?
You can more create free shapes.
Exactly, free shapes with that feature. And here we have a rectangle. So we already created the map, the floor plan, and now we have to export it as an SVG. There are 2 ways. One that I don't recommend, which is selecting it, right-click, and save as picture SVG. That one I don't recommend because it loses the coordinates. In PowerPoint, it loses the coordinates. So what I recommend is going to File, Save As, Browse, or maybe select the format right here if you want. And then selecting SVG. Where is it? Sorry, I have presentation right here. Okay, and let's call it floor plan. The format that you have to select is SVG, which is right here, SVG, Scalable Vector Graphics. We hit save, and let's go back to which slide? Just this slide. It is asking me what slide to save. Just this slide. Let's go back to Power BI. So here you get Synoptic Panel from the app source or the PBI bits as you want. All right. Let me enlarge it a little bit. And here we add the categories. In this case, the rooms, right? Bedroom, bathroom, and whatnot. So now we have to load the SVG map, right? So Synoptic Panel just work with SVGs. So let's look for our map, which is right here, floor plan, right? It was called. The thing in this way is that when we load the map, Power BI doesn't know what polygon belongs to what data point. For that, you can do it right here. And this is new. This is a new feature. You can click Edit and assign manually. For example, this one is the bathroom. You come here. Where is it? Bathroom. This one is bedroom. And you see here the green dots. Those indicate that it is already bound. This is the closet, kitchen place, dining, and finally living room.
And does the formatting in PowerPoint matter? Like now you have these dark blue greenish boxes. Does it matter how you color them or anything? Or
exactly, it doesn't matter the color, doesn't matter at all. Now it is green just to indicate that it has been bound. That's it. Why? Now we're here. Why it doesn't matter? Because now with this new version, Synoptic Panel, through the visualizations format pane, under areas, you can choose FX, so the conditional formatting, or just change the color. For example, let's do a gradient based on the work in progress percentage, right? Maybe from orange to blue, because I'm colorblind, so the red to green doesn't work for me. So here it is, and you can change the transparency, right? Finally, another one, you can also activate category labels. In this way, you see that they appear, but the contrast is not the best one. So one thing that I like to do to improve the contrast is coming here to
zoom in again a bit, because it becomes really small, especially in the
I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
So under category labels color, one thing that I do is selecting the outline. In that way, I pick the white color and the outline as black, just a little bit wider the outline, And you can see that the contrast is better. You can read the
you have to zoom in again. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
But
so,
if you are not 100% sure of the location of these category labels, you can come here to the label editor. And in the label editor, you can move around things. For example, the living room. Let me put it here because I don't know. I want it to be there. Or here, the kitchen plus dining.
Yeah.
Back to the report, and here you have. So this is one way by using PowerPoint. I think that 99% of people know PowerPoint, but it is not the best tool for Synoptic Panel because it requires you to manually select the shape and the data point, right?
Yeah, to make
That's
the connection.
why,
yeah.
to make the connections, the binding. That's why I recommend Figma. Figma is a free app, or you can also use it directly online on your browser. Do you know Figma, Lonneke?
Yes, but I must say I'm still a PowerPoint person.
Actually, I use Figma as a PowerPoint. That's it.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not an expert on it. So in this case, we are going to create something more complex, where we have a building with 3 floors, and the idea is to click on a floor and see the floor plan for that floor, right? So there is a hierarchy. There is going to be a hierarchy. So in Power BI, I already have the data loaded. It is the other table. Let me zoom. All right. So we have the floor. For floor 1, here are the rooms. Floor 2, the rooms, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
Just to create the hierarchy. So why am I showing you Figma? Because in Figma, you can rename the polygons. And it is way easier. It has more features than PowerPoint. So in this case, I'm going to use the pen. We have a documentation on how to use Figma for Synoptic Panel in our website, if you're interested. But let me show you just how to use the pen. It's just like the feature that we use in PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So it is just like this. I'm just creating this overlay, but you can create it from scratch if you want. Okay, once I'm done, here is the, where is it? Here is the element. The name is Victor48, right? And we have to add a field. Just I click a field, and I can select any color. It doesn't matter the color, right? As you saw, like from PowerPoint.
It's the same, yeah.
The good thing here in Figma is that I can rename this. By renaming it, I just double click. By renaming it, this data point will be bound, right, to this shape. That is the thing. That is why I recommend Figma.
Yeah.
Because you can directly change it here.
With the PowerPoint, you can also name objects, but then it doesn't.
That is right. That is right. From the selection pane, you can rename them. But unfortunately, the export from PowerPoint doesn't keep the right name.
Yeah.
That is true. That's why I recommend Figma. So once you're done with your map, it is just a matter of grouping it by right-click group selection or Control-G if you are on Windows. And here comes the most important part for Figma. To export it, you can come here to Export on plus, and then select SVG. So you select SVG, and the most important part of this important part is clicking the 3 dots and include the ID, because this is the ID that you want, which is the name, right? So you want that. Once you're done, you're good to go. Export it. Let's export it. Here it is. Let me call it building.
And maybe question, the floor plans that you have next to it, will you give those like the same number?
Here are the other floor plans that I already created. And as you can see, for example, here is the kitchen plus diner, right? So it has the same name as in PowerPoint.
Yeah.
I did the same thing for those ones.
Yeah, and the entire image has floor 1 as name. So will that also be?
So the name of the SVG doesn't matter at all.
Okay.
It could be hello.
No, but of this object in total is also called like floor 1, right? If I see it on the left side of your screen, there.
Yeah, this is a group that is called floor 1, and then you can export it, right? And you can rename it. It will be exported as floor 1, but you can rename it. The name of the SVG doesn't matter at all.
No.
So let's come to Power BI, sorry, and let's create the hierarchy. So we are going to follow basically the same steps at the beginning. So first we want the floors, just floor 1, 2, 1, 3. So let's add the map that we created this time with Figma. It was called building, right? The SVG that we created. And now, if we go to edit, you see that everything is green because it is already bound. If I click on it, it says auto bind.
Yeah.
So we are done. And again, we can come here and create a gradient for the work in progress data if we want, right? From orange to yellow to blue with the middle, which is white. Okay, now comes the difficult part. How do we create the hierarchy? Just to click on a floor and display the floor plan. It is just a matter of creating the hierarchy as any other visual. So I drag and drop on the floor, the room, and you can see here that the hierarchy was created. So if I drill down to floor 3, let's say, I can manually add a new map, which is the 3rd floor, this one. And again, the data is already bound because I renamed everything. Actually, I forgot this one, you see? I forgot this one, Vector 13, but yeah, it doesn't matter.
We'll forgive you, yeah.
Thank you. And it is just a matter of doing it for every single one. And we're good to go. So the final user can drill down every floor.
Yes. And we get a question from Muhammad. He joined a bit later. So if we have recordings, yes, you can always watch these episodes back on YouTube at the channel of Get Responsive, Get Response Live. Search for Design Donderdag and you'll find it. Sorry for the interruption, Victor. Continue.
No worries.
Important things. Yeah.
So we're already done. This time we use a bitmap, so a PNG, a JPEG image down below. And then we overlay, right, shapes on top of it. But you can create a 100% SVG image, like this one. This one is just an SVG, so this is a shape, you see?
Yeah.
So for example, here we have the knee, which is right here. I rename it as knee. And if you want, here I have the use case article for this one. You can come check it out in the website. Here is the SVG.
Yeah. So you offer these SVGs also on your website, or people can use them? Do I understand you correctly? Sorry.
So if I help people to create SVGs if they need, like I don't know, an engine SVG, which is very hard to do. We don't offer SVG as a whole. But me, Victor, if you need help, I can help
you. Be careful what you're offering.
I mean, me. Okay, so they don't offer.
Yeah, no, I understand.
SVGs.
Yeah, we won't take over all your time. Yeah.
So there are other features that you can check out in our website, right? There is no time to show everything.
No, of course not.
I would have loved to show everything, but in our website we have several use cases for Synoptic Panel. We have 11 or 12 right now for different industries, warehouses, floor plan, as you said, but also human body.
Yep.
So there is a tool to create the SVGs, which is Synoptic Designer. Maybe some of you viewers, you already know what is Synoptic Designer. It's a website where you can load your bitmap and create overlay shapes. That is a prototype. We get some requests from users because maybe they don't understand how to use the tool or they need support. We don't provide support for a Synoptic Designer. That's why my advice is to use Figma.
Yeah.
So you already saw how to create an SVG with PowerPoint Figma. There is also Illustrator or Inkscape, which is free.
Yep.
Or you can obtain it from professional softwares like CAD, right? For example, we have a use case article on how to export both data and SVGs from Revit. We use Dynamo as a scripting language to export both the SVG and the data.
Nice. And do you have, if I may ask in between the question, for me, or maybe not for me, but in general, how I see it is that there's always a risk in things like Synoptic Panel, because it can easily be turned into some nice gimmick to have images, and people are overdoing their design, and with that actually cluttering their dashboards. So do you also have some general tips and tricks of how to, well, not how to use it is a bit of a too broad question, but how do you make sure it stays clean?
Good questions. How to make sure that it stays clean? Well, I think the number of visuals that you have on a report page, it says a lot, right?
Yeah.
Having 20 visuals, also because of performance, it takes some time to load. So first of all, I recommend between 6, 7 objects in your Power BI report. I mean, graphs, visuals, however you want to call them. Regarding Synoptic Panel, what I recommend is using just one Synoptic Panel and not using bookmarks. Mm-hmm. You can use bookmarks, right? But bookmarks are difficult to maintain as well.
Yeah.
So there is a feature, let me go back, to have several maps in Synoptic Panel, and by using a slicer, you can switch the map. Because we are used to switching it using the bookmark. That is another thing that I don't recommend.
Yeah. Understand.
Other advices. I wasn't prepared for that question, actually.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't tell you beforehand. No, and it just popped up. So, yeah, for me, I think I say the image in your background image that you're using as the SVG, make sure that's as clean as possible. Just outlines, just general shapes, maybe not photos or something in between the photo, like very rich illustrations. It can look cool, but it's so it's distracting from the actual data. So like more icon types, type of visuals, or things like this, indeed, a floor map, but even a floor plan, I would make it maybe even cleaner. Like first remove all the text elements that are already in there, and then make it the way you were using it.
The data in ratio, right, indicator, to use the less quantity of ink to show what you want to show. Do you know from Edward Tufte, the data in ratio?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And also another recommendation is to pay attention to the contrast. That's why I use the outline, because otherwise you won't see the text, right? If you have maybe conditional formatting.
Yeah, I understand. Do you have like one big end note that you want to give to our audience? Because we're hitting the 4:45, so some sort of wrap up.
Yeah, just the final one is that we have two versions, the light and the full version. The light is certified, the full version is not. They cost the same, and you can buy it either through the app stores or the OKViz portal, right? And they cost the same. Here is the pricing overview, and that's it.
Yeah, and why would people choose the light if the more elaborate version has the same functionalities for the same price? Or not the same functionalities, has more functionalities for the same price?
It's just because it is certified. The light is certified.
Ah, yeah, okay. So, and in a lot of companies, you're not allowed to go for the not certified version, so then you can
exactly.
Yeah.
It is certified. And in the full version, we also support publish to web, report server, embedding.
Yeah. So there are very good reasons for that one, but sometimes you just are not allowed to go for not certified. Why is it not certified? Can you explain?
Yeah, because we have my storage support. So we support our own storage where you can upload your SVGs, right? And you connect from that storage, which is on the cloud, right, to your Synoptic Panel. So that connection is not possible if it is certified.
Yes, I understand. Cool. Okay.
That's the thing.
Well, Victor, thank you very much for your very elaborate explanation of your visuals. And I think definitely the Calender Pro, you were right, needs a bit more love and attention. So let's start using it. And the Synoptic Panel, yeah, that's just awesome. And it's always good to see how do you set it up? How do you work with Figma to work with it? So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and your time and being here.
Thank you so much, Lonneke. Thank you for having me.
Yes, you're very welcome. And well, for anyone who has been watching or will be watching in the next days or weeks or whenever you're watching it, I hope to see you in a month once again. If you have a nice topic to share with Jeroen and myself, then let us know and we'll work it out and create a nice next session. Victor, thank you very much, and see you all in the next session. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.